And we're back. Would like to excuse ourselves. Obviously, enough technical issues.
Yeah.
That's what technology is all about, and that's something that can happen during a live show. Live show, sorry, a light show. I'm used to the light show.
It was just an audio issue for some reason. It was prepared already, but I don't know what happened. Like probably a USB connection problem, and then everything was back in order. So, welcome to the 4th episode of the weekly show by World Pro Racing. I'm Justin, as you have to start. I'm Justin, and
I'm Adrian.
We are from World
Pro Racing. So
where were we? Let's start again.
Actually, no, we were discussing Griiip G1. I gave some information about the actual series itself, what's gonna be like, and obviously the virtual races combined with the real series, apart from the virtual series that we are actually doing for officially for Griiip.
We're also doing the official championship.
That's what I was saying actually.
Which there are currently around 11 drivers in real life. The real life drivers, they are competing in this championship, and the points are very important because if they do something wrong in the virtual world, these points will be part of the real championship as well. So I mean, the drivers are practicing. I have no doubt about that they are practicing.
For sure.
It's not just about the championship because it helps them in real life practice the car much more than in real life, because there are expenses, tires, fuel and many other stuff, and that's why simulation comes as an important role in real life motorsport.
As I was saying also, coming test of Wednesday, in today's time we have round 5 of the Griiip virtual series. It's going to happen at Varano. And then obviously enough we wait for the final race, the 6th round of the first season, if we could say that, of Griiip G1 virtual series. The 6th round, obviously enough, nobody yet knows the track because we kept it as a secret. It will be released just a week before the final race, so that obviously enough we give the chance to all drivers, equal chance to all drivers to practice on that particular track.
And something they must know now that it's confirmed. I mean, with Tamir, that we will be having
season 2
of the Griiip Championship. So if you're interested in this series and would like to take part in the second season of the Griiip Championship, stay tuned, because we will be publishing, obviously not now, but in the very near future, we're including Maltese now too. So like it happened last time.
So it's like on a different
platform. Yes, it's going to be on a different platform. This time it will be on R Factor 2, and it will going to be the same as we did in season 1, the one that we're currently doing with qualifiers. And we will have multiple servers depending upon how many applications drivers will apply to this championship. We were going for the highlights. The highlights are not ready yet, but we will publish them very shortly. The current top 10
results of the Griiip G1 series after round 4. So. And here we go. So these are the standings after round 4 of the Griiip G1 Virtual Series. We see obviously enough Kevin Sigurd leading strongly with 183 points, followed closely by Daniele Pasquali, which actually it's like half the points of Kevin Sigurd, 92 points. And in 3rd place we have Ross McFarlane with 69 points. Followed them by Bernard Vella, Daniel Stremer, Kamil Franchak, Avi Markovic, Dean Vella, William Zerbini and Danilo Smerillo. So those were the standings after round 4 of the Griiip G1 Virtual Series.
And we can say that the battle is still on for the 3rd position, especially because there are only a few points behind, like 69 points for Ross McFarlane, and then 65 points by Bernard, and 64 and 63 by Daniel and Camille, which Camille is probably no longer going to be participating, as
even
he was
58, we say,
focusing on the Porsche Championship on in iRacing.
Yeah. So the 3rd place is still in very close points to be won. So
Yes, obviously there's only one prize, which is for the lead. The overall winner of this championship will win the real life testing day with the real Griiip G1, along with the Griiip engineers and many other, the whole crew of Griiip, which is some of the prizes that people now know what kind of prizes we offer, not just only winning hardware or cash prizes. Sometimes a real life experience is much more valuable than just having cash. Okay, we know that motorsport is not cheap, but we're helping in the driver in moving to the next step and get at least one foot into the real world of motorsport. Talking about real world of motorsport and esports, we have some good news to share with you guys. Yes, of course, it's part of today's agenda to discuss about this and what we're doing with other companies and collaboration.
So we go now to the next topic, which where we're gonna give you some updates about the WPR F-19 mod. That those that followed our previous episodes, we told you that we're developing our own mod together with ASR
Formula,
a Formula car with the name of WPR F-19, and obviously development is going on schedule, I should say.
Yes. We're currently we finished the 3D modeling. We're going to show you some previous photos as well for those that didn't tune up to the previous shows. We've started already with the building of the 3D. The car is ready from the whole 3D build-up, and we're now into the texturing phase, where obviously the car will look much more in detail. In fact, we can show you a bit of the previous photos that we showed in the previous shows. There you can see the WPR F-19 engine, which is a V10 engine. Imagine the noise and this beautiful symphony of the engine, which we
have the sound
love. No, because it's not ready yet. It's completed, but we don't have any footage yet of the audio. There you can see the V10 engine that we'll be using in this Formula car, which it will be roaring around many tracks, which are very popular around the world, especially in Formula 1 as well. So and we have some more photos of the actual engine, which will be fit into the WPR F-19. What do you think about the engine?
I heard some sounds of the engine, so actually definitely an awesome engine, so great sound and everything. So yes,
for
looking forward actually to hear the engine and the car going around the track, obviously at the testing phase. So
I'm looking forward to drive it.
Sure.
That's the day I'm waiting for, but obviously these things take time, and obviously you have to understand that this is not a full-time thing building the car. So obviously when time is available, we continue on the car, and thanks to obviously ASR who we are collaborating with, because we believe in their product.
Yeah, definitely.
And we advise other companies, if they want to build their mod, to approach them, because they are a nice bunch of guys. They are very helpful. They understand of what we need, because this car is like from different various areas.
Even I think from the wireframe to the actual 3D, you can see also the changes that have happened since then. That is obviously one of the previous 3Ds that we had. And now obviously we're going ahead, that's another 3D.
These are the previous images that we showed a few weeks ago, and here is the final product of the 3D phase of this car. But today we're going to show you an updated visual of the Formula car with a little bit of texture, a basic texture, but it shows a big difference. And here we go. This is the final 3D model of the current update that we have of the WPR F-19, which
looking great actually.
It's very looking fast without even moving. It's showing very potential. We're not going to give much more details about this, because obviously we keep you updated later on. Something big is going to happen with this car, and we hope you like it, because you guys are going to race with it, not us. I mean, we're going to test it, but obviously this is something that you're going to drive and enjoy the events coming up with this Formula car. So we hope that you enjoyed this update of this car. We are very looking forward to it.
Definitely.
And obviously we say again thanks to ASR Formula for believing in our project and collaborating with us.
Yeah.
Thanks to the whole team, because there's not just one person. There's a person
Definitely.
for the audio, there's a person for the 3D modeling, there's a person for the physics, there's a person for the texturing, and it takes a lot of time. And these people do it at their own time, available time, and it's great. We appreciate it a lot.
Yeah, we appreciate it a lot.
Follow their page, ASR Formula.
And when you are technical and you understand what is the whole thing behind it, the whole work,
it's
and
a lot
everything,
of work.
it's a lot of work. So definitely they're doing a great job for an awesome looking car. So
obviously, if you have any questions about the car, which we can maybe answer you, but we cannot publish that much of information yet, since there's going to be an event, more events with this module, with this mod, I mean, and we cannot give that much details out yet. But obviously there will be a championship running with this Formula car,
Definitely.
which will be only on R-Factor 2. Obviously R-Factor 2 is a very good platform simulation with good physics, and we decided, obviously, since we'll be running our simulation center, which is below us, the academy, with R-Factor 2, obviously we have to keep on following that way of championships. Although we will be creating also other championships and other platform, because Will Pro Racing works with any type of platform, but obviously in our center we're focusing on just one platform for training purposes, championships, local championships, and other events locally here in Malta.
So as we obviously announced in our previous episodes, one of our new partners is Garmin. Garmin Malta. Together with them, it's not just a combination that we just went to Garmin, to get him as a partner, but Garmin will be included in the physical training of our drivers at the academy, and also will be doing some brief talks here about fitness, about everything. So
esports is not just, let's say, in our section of esports. We're into sim racing, and people know that in motorsport you have to be fit. Now there are several communities that say playing, you're a couch potato and you just play and spending time getting nothing out of it. And we want to do, it's not something new that we're doing. I mean, there are various teams like Mercedes, Williams, and professional esports teams that already include fitness and to have a good physique in esports, which can lead you into real motorsport, which you need to be fit. So we have worked already with Garmin. We did a race with the Nissan Primera, and the driver who won this race, this special event, won a Garmin watch, which helps you monitor the heartbeat, monitor your stress levels, monitoring your track map where you're running, and various other activities.
As you can see, me and Justin
exactly
are wearing one of those that we'll be talking about very, very shortly.
With Garmin, obviously thanks to Mark Gaglione, who is the director of Garmin Malta, who believed in esports, and when we explained to Garmin and the director, we discussed about what we're doing in esports, and we have been asked, but what can we do with regards to Garmin, which focuses a lot on sports and GPSs? And we said, listen, in sim racing, it's not just sitting on the racing seat and just driving. You need to do many things. You need to monitor your heart levels. We monitor our drivers with heart monitors to see their stress levels and many other information that we need to collect from the driver. When you're racing, many things go through your mind, to your brain, to be exact. And there are many things that we teach, and we go to a certain approach to drivers on the physical level, the mindset, and many other information. And that's why we collaborated with Garmin, so we can monitor the driver's performance during testing. They also do some basic fitness level, which we'll be applying to all our people who come into our academy, and we monitor the progress levels of each drivers. It is something that is already being done, but obviously something which is unique in Malta that we're doing, in esports especially, and we want to change that mentality that esports is not being a couch potato and doing nothing and spending time getting nothing out of this.
Sure not.
So thanks to Garmin, who collaborated with us, and thanks to all the other partners that we worked with already, and they are still believing in us and they're still supporting us for this year and hopefully the next years to come.
Yeah.
So that's why we're publishing information about Garmin, since they are supporting us, and we're promoting certain Garmin products which I believe they are a must to have along with you, like we do. We monitor our levels sometimes.
Actually, it's like I was talking to Justin about it. Since I'm using this Garmin watch, which gives you heart rates, heart levels, stress levels, obviously enough challenges of how many flight of stairs you go up, how many steps you do every day. Actually, it offers you also a challenge to achieve. Some comments.
We have some comments, and said Mr. Coffelino Nico said, most of the esports I know are couch potatoes with bras. It's true that there are certain people who they are still being couch potatoes. Yes, it's true, but we want to change that thing, and it's good that you mentioned also Hani Al-Sabti, the winner of the Porsche Championship last year, and he's going to the Porsche Experience in Istanbul city, the Intercity track in Istanbul. I always get mixed up saying that word. And yes, I know Hani. I mean, we never met in real life, but we know that he has a physique, a good physique, and he takes care of his health, and which is very good. But still, there are couch potatoes, which is true, but there are others.
Nowadays, if you can see, even in other esports, when you see the athletes on stage competing, you see a lot of them, majority of them are fit, you know what I mean, fitness and all this stuff. That is very, very important, especially when it comes in their esports, definitely, but in sim racing also, because you have endurances and long races. So
we have another comment by Speed Force Sim Racer, who is a viewer of us. He always watch our shows, and he said, I checked my heart rate when I was sim racing. My heart rate average was 130 beats per minute. Now, since I'm coming from athletics and sport and fitness, long time ago I can say, because if I run a 5 kilometer now, I end up breathing, trying to catch some breath to keep on going. But 130 beats per minute, I used to run during a race, 130 beats per minute. And run when you race, it's a race, you have to run fast. Obviously it goes higher than that. In my experience, I went over 209-10 during a very intense race. But 130 is a good level of heartbeat, because from there you identify the driver if he's how do you say it? The pressure is taking over.
As you can see, when the pressure is taking over, obviously your heartbeat goes up, because even the watch manages to take your stress levels obviously enough according to your heartbeat. So yes, those things do help to achieve and understand. Listen, when I'm under pressure, I'm being a little bit more stressed. Let's work on that sector where I'm like getting more stressed, and obviously possibly going out of focus from my race, and obviously enough focus on those so that I get better and better. So yes, as I said, for me it's offering me challenges having this watch, because I have my daily challenges. As I told Justin before, I used to go at home and go up with the lift, but if I check my watch or check actually the app on my mobile and see that I still need a couple of steps to do, I just go up with my stairs at home.
We've got some Hani fans here. We've got quite a lot of Hani fans. In fact, the last comment about Hani was that Hani is sexy. I hope Hani is watching here. Probably he's blushing. We know Hani is a very great guy. We've been together sort of throughout the whole year championship of the Porsche Championship. because it was span out through a whole year, starting from January till October, till October. So we've been in contact for quite a long time. So yes, Hani is a nice guy, and I'm not going to say more stuff, but his friends are saying he's sexy. Well, hopefully, it's the, how do you say it? Well, he can be a sexy guy, but it's something that a girl should say.
Should say that,
you know. But anyway, yes, he's a good-looking guy. Let's say that.
So
not like I am.
So apart from that, when it comes to what you need to monitor when you're racing, you need also to have a look at your telemetry of the car.
Exactly.
So this is our next topic, coming up to our new partner, ZBlueSoftware.
Exactly.
Which actually is supporting us. It's our new partner with this telemetry. Obviously enough, I leave this part to Justin when it comes to technical. Reading a little bit of telemetry, I can do that, but obviously the technical part, how it works and how you should install it, and obviously enough, yes, it does help. We did some testing with it here, so yes, we managed to even arrange setups of cars because it guides you also accordingly on what's going on. And going
we did a good partnership. In fact, the partnership that we're mentioning now, which is the ZBlueSoftware, and the one coming after, it made a good combination. We have partnered with ZBlueSoftware. You can look for it on Facebook. ZBlueSoftware is a company in the US, and they built a software for telemetry. For those probably that are watching, they know what telemetry means. Telemetry is the data and all the information, all the necessary information that you need to monitor the car while doing training, practicing, race.
Sorry for my comment, I couldn't say do otherwise. So somebody, let's joke this, you know. Somebody said, hope if it's in that Porsche, he's wider than the Porsche. So it's still about Hani Al-Sabti.
Yes, it's going to be a Hani Al-Sabti episode today.
That's right.
So yes, ZBlueSoftware, we approached ZBlueSoftware and they agreed. Actually, they were happy to be involved with World Pro Racing. They offered us the ZBlueSoftware, the Z1 dashboard, the Z1 server, and the Z1 analyzer. What this software does is monitoring all the information that you can get from the car, and this helps us a lot, since probably you know that we have our own team, which is GT OMEGA RPM Esports, which is currently taking part in very professional and high-level championships, and we needed a lot of data from the car so we can create this setup for all our drivers taking part in different championships. So this was a good partnership for us, and yes, this software, if you want to look for this software, which is not expensive, it's just $24.99 for this software, and we're not just saying that because they are helping us and they provided us the software, and in fact they are taking information from us to improve the software. It's not just because they are our sponsors, but we have tried it before and it worked as we wanted, so obviously we can share it with you. All the information that it does is correct, and obviously there are more things that needs to be done to get more data out of the platforms, but sometimes if the platform doesn't give that output, then obviously the software cannot pull that information and
cannot invent it,
show it to you in a visual. But it helped us a lot. Why? Because there is live telemetry also in the software, where you can monitor somebody else, or your engineer, your team engineer can monitor what you're doing. You do a couple of laps, like 5 or 6 or 10 laps, a stint of 10 laps without going out of track, and then we can monitor what happened to the car, what happened to the suspension, what happened to the shocks, what happened to the camber, and many other information that you need, the same as they do in real life in motorsport. So by that you can monitor what happened in the car, and you can start building the base setup of the car. You go out again, do some couple of runs, go back in, the engineer will take over and see what you can do to improve the car, and finally you get the setup ready for the next race qualification, and hopefully a better race, because it's not just the driver, But the setup is very, very important, obviously.
It also, from the little features I saw, it also helps you improve your setup itself, because obviously from the data it collects, it can give you some tips. Correct me if I'm wrong, Justin. Yes, there is another funny comment actually. So, correct me, Zara, but the software gives you also tips on what to adjust in your setup when obviously you stop and you collect the data. Apart from that, something Justin didn't mention, maybe you can also compare the data between various stints and various setups. So actually, it's it's a great software. With some testing we did already, it worked fine. We enjoyed it. It's like definitely it's going to help the drivers. And we tell you, go on the website, have a look at it, and purchase it. It's quite cheap.
The website because it's good not just buying the software and that's it, because it's just $24.99, but you can download the manual before and read all the features that it has at the moment, and you can see that if it's appropriate for you or not. I mean, it takes not just only one platform, it takes Race Room, iRacing, Project Cars, rFactor 2, Assetto Corsa. So there are quite a lot of platforms which are available that the software detects all the information, so it can help you in various platforms, because nowadays you don't just race on one simulation platform. All the platforms now, and many companies are organizing professional events in various platforms, and you have to take part in all the types of platforms, especially the professional drivers that takes part in different platforms to achieve their highest level of sim racing. Coming after the ZBlueSoftware sponsorship that we got, we had, I think it was the best partnership that we have done so far since the birth of World Pro Racing, and this is not only good for us but only good for you who are watching us, and especially if you are sim racers. We had launched the partnership recently, last week, with Student Motorsport, and we're going to tell you exactly this partnership with Student Motorsport. First of all, Student Motorsport is a company from UK. Thanks to JP, that's how he would like us to call him.
That's right.
In exactly, it's John Paul. I think he's hating for this, but
if he's watching,
JP is the director of Student Motorsport, and we can tell you exactly what does Student Motorsport. Student Motorsport is a company that created this community of motorsport people, let's say it like that, where not only a driver can be part of this community, but also people who are involved in motorsport. For example, we have drivers, which is the most important, because without the drivers you cannot, obviously, motorsport will disappear, because motorsport is the driver, but not only the driver, because until the driver reaches to the track to start racing, there are the job of an engineer, marketing people, catering, designers,
3D, all the lot. I mean, there are a lot of jobs and obviously designations to get a full team, a full motorsport team running, and obviously enough to get the end product, which is the car, on track. There is a big team behind, obviously, each driver and each team.
Exactly. So Student Motorsport is gathering all these people who are interested in getting into motorsport, and there's a community. If you can visit their website, which is studentmotorsport.com, where you can register to their website, subscribe to their website, where people sharing information. And there are many subscribers, companies who subscribed to Student Motorsport, where they are giving opportunities in real life in motorsport, not just for drivers. And now why World Pro Racing partnered with Student Motorsport? Since our vision and our aim, as we've been saying for a long time, World Pro Racing creates championships with prizes that will lead you to real motorsport. And this is some of that we are brilliant at, because we're collaborating with many motorsport companies and give you the real life scenario in motorsport. Not only that, we give cash prizes and other prizes like we've done with other companies like hardware. But this is one of the things that we shine for. And because there's something that there are certain drivers who want to get into esports to lead them to motorsport. And that's one of the things that we do. But there are also drivers who want to stay into esports and become champions in esports only. So we can offer both of them. We have the esports section and we have the real life section. So we partnered with Student Motorsport to help you guys, sim racers, who are maybe studying in university or getting interested into learning in motorsport, not just being a driver, but you can be a designer, an engineer, into catering, into marketing, into many other departments that is involved in motorsport. And through Student Motorsport, they will help you to get all the information and teach you how to be a better driver, a better person, to have a whole package overall in motorsport, not just, for example, let's say a driver. A driver is not just a driver racing and then he goes back home and that's it. You need to be good in front of the media. You have to be interacting with the fans. When somebody hits you on track, you cannot be like
lose your head.
Certain drivers that already
you need to keep your calm, you know.
Exactly, and then leave it to the steward to take care of the incident. There are certain drivers in real life presently that didn't act well in front of the cameras. They went to approach the driver who had an incident with them. I'm not going to mention any names, but
it happened. You know?
It happened, and in sim racing,
in the past, and it happened in the very near.
Exactly, in sim racing, it happened also in one of our events, which was not good because people are watching you, and if you do something which is not appropriate in front of the media, you're just like being. You have a stamp on you that you are a furious driver or any other person. You can
not
be
healthy for yourself, not healthy for the sport. These are things that definitely cannot happen in any sport, especially also motorsport. Yes,
and Hanyal's up to join now.
He can go back and obviously enough read the comments about him, so that's good. So and we have a list of
we have some comments by Speed Force which I forgot to view and check, and in fact he said he raced against Jason Platten and the other week in SRS. Yes, obviously nowadays many drivers, real life drivers, are taking part into sim racing because they are now noticing, and finally, because there are many drivers, especially who are a bit not in this era of motorsport, in the technology, they said just driving the car and that's it. But now they are getting into simulation because they're knowing now what are the sim racers doing. They are getting into real motorsport and they're doing a good job.
And they're understanding also that drivers in the real world of motorsport are using simulators to better their skills and obviously train before actually going to any particular track. Yes, simulation is helping even real drivers get better in their skills on track. So that is why now a lot of top drivers are getting into sim racing.
Exactly.
Which definitely it's a benefit for them. And obviously also for the sim racing community, because seeing some top drivers from the real world of racing with you can actually learn from them because they have experience and you can watch how they drive and obviously how they improve. So it's the best of two worlds, we say. It's like it's good for them, and who's in the sim racing community is obviously getting more ways to learn how to take cars and obviously how to drive on track.
So yes, one of the things that we will be doing as well with Student Motorsport, we will also be creating competitions within the community of Student Motorsport, which there is a huge community there. If you visit their website, I say again, studentmotorsport.com, you can see all the companies that are collaborating with Student Motorsport. So if you want to get into motorsport, in real life motorsport, it's something that you can do and register to their website, subscribe, and there will be a lot of help, especially from JP. And by the way, the director of Student Motorsport is an engineer. He worked in motorsport. He's a very experienced person in motorsport, and he can help you quite a lot in getting into real motorsport. And something that we are doing with Student Motorsport as well, with their service that they provide, we have our own engineers, I mean, they are providing the engineers from their side to help us build our setups for the drivers of our team, of GT OMEGA RPM Esports. Finally, we got to the point, and that's why we say patience, patience, patience. You have to be patient until you find the right people, because in sim racing nowadays it's not just hopefully, and you'll be lucky if you can do this setup at the same time racing as well, because not everybody can race and set up the car. You have to understand many stuff in setting up the car. But thanks to being patient and finding the right company to partner with, Student Motorsport, we finally got the help of engineers, real engineers in motorsport, and they are into esports as well, and they are helping us in building the setups for the drivers of our team prior going into qualifiers, racing, etc.
Another thing that we're doing, obviously, we're putting esports into the world and into the how you can say, the atmosphere of real motorsport, where you have all these people coming from universities, understanding how they can improve their skills. As Justin said, it's not just the driver, engineers, and so on and so forth. So we're introducing the esports and use esports for these people to learn. So that is very important to do, and I think it's going to be great help for these students that are looking for such opportunities to gain more experience through esports.
And we're doing this also not just in an international level. For the Maltese people, obviously we are operating from Malta. The World Pro Racing came up in Malta, which is a Maltese product. Although we are international, but we're helping a lot. Obviously, we're opening our academy and simulation center here, which is below us, to help young drivers. Unfortunately, we do not have a racetrack here in Malta, and we don't have no place where to practice. Just only a quarter-mile drag strip, which is not enough for practicing for the circuit. And therefore, with World Pro Racing's Academy, we're teaching young drivers, going up to real-life drivers, to improve their performance, even in hill climbs, and not only just circuit racing. So thanks to Student Motorsport, thanks to JP for believing in our projects, and stay tuned for our collaborations, because we're giving these prizes, real-life prizes, like we did with the Porsche, like we did with the Griiip.
And we're going to have also JP with us in some shows on Mondays to discuss further these topics, because obviously our collaboration goes more than what we said, where we're going to have also modules and obviously teaching, giving tips to these people that want to get into motorsport, that want to get from university into esports. We're going to have these talks even on Mondays with some briefs together with JP. So
we'll be having, like, maybe once every 2 weeks, we will be having a talk with JP, discussing and telling us from his experience in motorsport, and it's something that you must tune into, because this is very important in motorsport. I mean, even a driver, you're never the best. I mean, there's always way of improvement, not only as a driver, as an engineer, as a designer, as many other departments in motorsport. So if you're interested, make sure that you subscribe to our YouTube channel, subscribe to our Facebook, Twitter, and all our social media, because it is something that you don't need to miss, because it's a very useful information that you need to know about many things that happen in motorsport. So that's about Student Motorsport. Just a few things to say left. Our team, people know, I think by now, that we own our professional sim racing team, GT OMEGA RPM Esports, which we are representing our sponsor, GT OMEGA Racing. We thank obviously Leo, the director of GT OMEGA Racing, for helping us since we started as Sim Racing Malta in 2017.
That's right.
And obviously we are very proud to be the official team of GT OMEGA. So we had a very big reshuffle in our team this year, and we have various drivers that are, all of them, they are making us proud. We have Martin Stefanko, Ellen Day, who is a European NASCAR champion. we have a recent sign-up that we did last week. Matthew Gallia, who is a local driver. We have Dean Vella, local driver as well. Daniel Stramer, Gianluigi Corrao, Roman Ivanov, Avi Markovic, Itamar, Yatif. So we're building.
Jake.
Of course, Jake Sanson, who is hopefully he will be racing soon with us.
Yeah.
And what we're doing with the team is we're using World Pro Racing to form the academy and also in GT OMEGA RPM Esports. World Pro Racing has its own academy locally, obviously, but GT OMEGA is the part having the academy as an international and online as well. In fact, we're already teaching students, young drivers with us starting from this week. We're going to have a young driver training with us in our center. He will be part of the GT OMEGA RPM Esports team as a young driver. Once he gets to the level that we want, then he will start taking part in championships leading to the professional championships that, like the other elite drivers we have are doing at the moment, such as the Race Room Championship, the other GT Masters Race Room Championship, which currently Martin Stefanko is 3rd overall, and Ivanov is in the 10th, 12th position, which is they're doing quite well. Not only just the positioning, because obviously the position is important, but being a very consistent driver is a must. Having a driver.
Drivers, obviously, we said in Division 1, because you have also drivers in Division 2 and Division 3. So.
Exactly, we have Daniel Stramer, who is another driver, and Dean Vella taking part in this championship in the 2nd and 3rd division, but they are very, very much improving. In fact, their consistency is being monitored, and they are doing very, very well. So if there are any drivers who are without a team and they would like us to test them out, to maybe invite them to our team or join the Young Driver Academy of GT OMEGA RPM Esports, feel free to contact us. Our website is rpmesports.eu, and we can help you guys becoming a better driver. Not me and Adrian only, we have other people who are teaching. Will be teaching these drivers not only in the driver side but also in the engineering side. So we have a complete package now.
Even the interaction between the drivers themselves, because obviously we see what's happening and we follow what's happening between them. They share information that helps actually improve their car for the particular championships, sharing fuel levels, qualifications, fuels. They share all the information about the whole race, and that's definitely helping also the less experienced drivers to become better, and that's something we've been seeing that's happening and going on during the past few weeks, let's say, or a couple of months.
So that was about today's list of information and tasks that we had to show you. Just a recap of what we've said today. We have explained about the Griiip G1 Virtual Series, which we have round 5 next Wednesday. Currently Kevin Siggy is leading this championship, and alongside him is following Daniele Pasquale and Ross McFarlane in 3rd position, but there is a very low gap between the 3rd, 4th and 5th and probably even the 6th driver battling for the 3rd position. And yes, we have also showed you the WPR F-19 formula card we are building along with ASR formula, which is going to be run on our Factor 2 platform. So prepare for a championship with this car, and much more information about this later on in the future. Our ZBlueSoftware sponsorship by ZBlueSoftware for the Z1 dashboard, Z1 server, and the Z1 analyzer, who's helping us with the telemetry, and obviously Garmin Malta to help us out and also help the drivers in our academy, the physical side in sim racing, student motorsport, obviously, thanks to JP, and obviously the team that we're building, which is getting quite popular now with
Matthew
all our achievements.
Us thanks for the shout out. So.
Of course, Matthew is our recent sign up for the team. We are focusing a lot on him because he is a Maltese driver, so he can, and he's like
Dean also, so.
10 to 15 minutes away from our center, so he can come over here and do some practice session. Obviously also Dean and all the local drivers that we will be having, they can obviously take part and be part of our center, they can come and join us wherever they want.
So we would like to thank our sponsors, Garmin Malta, Gaming Malta, ZBlueSoftware, actually Student Motorsport, gamers.com.mt. Did I forget somebody?
It's your third time, obviously, GT Omega Racing. So all the companies that we've been working with for a long time. If you visit our website, you'll see all our supporting partners, both on rpmesports.eu and worldproracing.com.
Some new ones coming up.
Some new ones coming up, obviously. Something that you should know is, for all the drivers out there, for all the teams, team managers, because sim racing, it's being split now. There is the professional side of sim racing, and there's the fun part of sim racing. And people sometimes they find it very difficult to look for sponsors. It's something that we'll be explaining with Student Motorsport, how to look for sponsor, how to approach companies, how to do your presentation, many other things. It's from our experience. Am I making you sleepy?
No, not at all. Actually, it's been a long day, sorry for that.
From our experience, we can help you a lot in achieving your sponsorship and getting sponsorship to your team, because it's not easy, and companies, they look for an ROI. They want to see the return on investment.
Let's don't forget also about this topic. It's like something very, very recent. Sim racing, it's quite, let's put it in inverted commas, new to the people out there, to the general public. It has been seen growing like any other esports. We know that esports is going towards a multi-billion business. So definitely the opportunities will be increasing, but obviously there need to be the right approach to the sponsors to manage to achieve something. And obviously enough, you need to explain to certain sponsors what is it all about, because some sponsors, obviously enough, I just was speaking to somebody recently last week, which are like more focused on the real world of motorsport, but they know little of benefits that now sim racing is offering and esports is offering to companies. As we can see, the more time passes, the more companies outside of the hardware, let's put it this way, hardware and software business, are getting into esports. So that is very, very positive for the industry.
And one thing to tell all the drivers out there who are within a team, and the team is working very hard like we do, looking for sponsors to help the drivers. Be patient with your team managers, because with getting a sponsor, it's not like today I call a company and tomorrow we get the sponsorship. There is a time frame, there's an amount until we got to where we are now as sponsorships, and this is something that there's no hidden thing. We help each other and we help others to get sponsors as well. Why not? But to get into this level of sponsorship that we are getting, it's been since the beginning of 2018, and we were like being approached, where are the sponsors, where are this, where is the money, where is this and where is that. And be patient with your team managers, because they are working hard a lot to get sponsorships, because it's not easy getting sponsorship into sim racing, because sim racing, the esports, is not the same as other esports, which is like Counter-Strike, Dota 2, what's that called? The other one, Fortnite. Those are huge esports, and they are getting millions of exposure. Sim racing is still growing, and you cannot get like millions of sponsorship, So, but still, there is a way, an approach how to get sponsorships, and we will be doing these kind of talks with Student Motorsport to help you out understanding exactly how you need to approach a company, because just a single word in an email, it might scare them off. Obviously this is not for today, we're not going to explain about this, but something that we will be explaining later on in the future along with Student Motorsport. So hopefully you stay tuned and make sure to like and subscribe into our YouTube channel, Twitter, Facebook. Make sure you like our pages, because you might miss all this information. YouTube obviously is subscribe, and all our social media channels.
So thanks for being with us, thanks for watching us, Keep on following us on our social media for our upcoming events. Next event is coming Wednesday with the Griiip G1 Virtual Series, round number 5 at Varano Circuit. Thanks and have a good night.
Good night.